नमस्कार मित्रांनो, welcome back to our journey to become the industry ready professional and to show our professional impact on the career growth. In one of the last sessions, I had shared one of my weaknesses. If you remember, I had shared that I use fillers while delivering my speech or while speaking with others in English language only, not in Marathi. So let us understand in detail what are these fillers exactly? Why do we use them? And how to get rid of these fillers. Now, let us try to understand one concept. You have continued watching the videos shared by me till today, and I'm trying to teach you, I'm trying to guide you how to speak politely, how to request politely, how to say, how to ask any question politely, how to get confirmations politely, how to give the directions politely, how to write the journals in structured way. Now, I'm guiding you in these particular skill sets. Just try to remember who taught you to use the fillers. Fillers means uh, uh, um, yep, right. Uh, these are called as the fillers. जे आपण मराठीमध्ये म्हणतो ना ततपप होणे तो प्रकार. Who taught us to use the fillers? No one did. But we have seen the people speaking around us. And we defined that if that particular speaker is using like this, like, and are you right, correct, such fillers, it means it is correct. And then we started following them blindly, which is not correct. In professional setting, these fillers convey that you are unsure about what to say now. You are searching for words. You are scared. Not true, right? Now here, right is not the filler. Here, I am asking you the question. It is not true, right? Instead of right, I should have used the question tag. It is not right, is it? But we don't want to learn grammar in deep. We don't want to focus on the grammar in deep. So, in the initial phase, it's okay to use such question tags which are wrong actually. It is not true right. The right is a question tag used by me here. It is not a filler, but it is wrong question tag. There are rules to use the question tag in English language. If the statement is negative, we should ask in positive manner. How it is? It is not true. Is it? हे बरोबर नाहीये. हे आहे का? अशा पद्धतीने आपण मराठीमध्ये बोलतो. तशाच पद्धतीने इंग्लिशमध्ये सुद्धा ही गोष्ट अवेलेबल आहे. Okay, where were we now? It's not true. It is just an assumption. You must be skilled. You must be confident. You must have acquired the knowledge required for that particular delivery of speech. But there is a problem with your delivery type or delivery mode or delivery style. It is not the problem with your knowledge. It is not the problem with your confidence. It is not the any other problem. It is the problem with respect to your delivery style, with respect to your delivery mindset. Getting my point? And so we will see a superpower which is highly underrated, called as the pause. We will take pauses while speaking. We will maintain a specific pace while speaking. We will not try to rush our words in that sentence. We'll hold the audience to process what we are saying. Am I clear? Okay. Let's see what all things we will cover in today's session. This session is divided into 4 interconnected pillars or 4 interconnected sections. The first one is physiology of speech pauses. How your brain and the body respond to silence. And why it creates trust. How this pause is a positive asset for us, not a negative impact. Taking a pause is positive asset for us during delivering or during conveying or during communicating the message. Next we'll see eliminating verbal fillers. Now what is verbal fillers and what is non-verbal fillers? Now I am exactly watching in the camera lens because I know I must lock the eye contact with my audience. If I start speaking, see, we will see today, and this is called as non-verbal fillers, which is literally we can say not making the eye contact is non-verbal filler. We'll try to see something else, and we are speaking with somebody. It is worst experience. It is worst style. Every time we are speaking, we should lock our eye contact with the audience. Next, we'll see strategic pausing for technical delivery. And finally, we'll see pace control under executive pressure. How to control our pace, how to control our speech. We'll try to master this skill today. Let us see why silence speaks louder than words. Let us try to understand the concept from basics. Many times we are scared of that one person in our life who never shouts on us, who never beats us. He only stares at us. And the entire silence shown by him through his eyes can make the impact. We'll stop behaving whatever or however we were behaving at that moment. I have one such person in my life, my uncle, who never beat his son or daughters, as well as never beat us. Whenever we made any mistake, not only we, but also our parents. He is the elder uncle in our family. If somebody makes mistake, he never shouts. He never panics himself. He just stares like this. He never say a single word. And if he never say anything, we understand that something has gone wrong. We must have done some mistake. And without he speaking a single word, we try to correct that mistake. This is the power of silence. How it is related with our program. Many a times, if you take a pause while speaking, the audience will start feeling excited. If I will start speaking like this, why silence speaks louder than words? The core transformation. Most professionals fear silence. They rush to fill every gap with filler words, nervous laughter, and redundant phrases. But research in communication psychology consistently shows the deliberate pauses signal confidence, clarity, and control. When you pause, you give your audience time to absorb your message. You signal that you are thinking, you're not searching. You command the room not by talking louder, but knowing exactly when to stop. Still, I am not able to read it faster because now taking pause is my habit. If you have heard when I was reading it, unintentionally that pause or that emphasis on few words was given by me. Why it is happening? Because of practice. I'm unable to go back to my previous version right now to speak faster. If I speak faster, you will not get time to absorb or to process what I was speaking. And that's why that silence matters. Now, if just now I had taken a pause, does it mean I don't know what to say next? No, I know the entire flow of this session. I'm not here to deliver the slides. I'm not here to deliver the presentation. I know why I am here today. Getting the point? Now, this is also one of the pillar. Correct? If you start speaking, you will find the pillars in your statements. But as you continue practicing to eliminate these pillars, the numbers will reduce. If you have gone through the entire session today, observe how many times I have used the pillars. This is one of the tasks you should implement right now. Listen carefully and see whenever I have taken pause or whenever I have used the fillers. When you pause while speaking, the audience starts processing. And that's why I had shared one clear instruction from my side. Never take notes while listening to me, because I am speaking with a pace that I will be able to communicate the message perfectly. I'm not rushing, or neither I am rushing nor I am slowing down my pitch. What I'm doing, I'm trying to make sure my pace is such that the message is conveyed clearly. And in this situation, if you are writing the notes, you will not be able to hear me. How you will process if you have not heard me clearly? And that's why processing is the important step. We have seen that in one of the last sessions. And to make sure the audience process what you're saying, we must use these pauses. Now, what should be the length of the pause? Where should we use this pause? Are the important concepts we will see in detail. There is a quote at the bottom of the slide. A well-placed pause can increase perceived authority by up to 30% in executive setting. Is it really happening right now? Even I remember, I observe every time I speak if I'm using a filler, if I'm taking much longer pause. I'm trying still to make sure I take pause whenever it is required with whatever length it is required. I told you in the session where we discussed the fear of failure. No one is perfect in this world. And if I am doing that mistake, or I am sharing how I overcome that particular mistake, and I'm sharing exact experience with you, it will help you understand the concept and overcome this particular issue. Now, there are three pillars of powerful pausing. It is one of the crucial skill in communication settings. The first one, intentionality. Second one is contrast, and third one is timing. Now, what is this intentionality? We should pause intentionally. The pause should not be because it is unplanned. Such as, if I ask any one of you to come on the stage and start speaking on any topic, that pause will be the unplanned pause because you don't know what to say. And when you come on the stage, you take a small pause to gather yourself. That is intentional pause. Are you following the concept? Unplanned silence or unplanned pause shows the hesitation. The intentional pause reads as mastery. Now, when you're listening to me, can you comment if my pauses are intentional or unplanned? You should observe closely. Not only mine, you just go on YouTube, search for the TED Talks or the podcasts and see how they pause, how they use the pause technique. And it is very important to take pause before answering the questions in interview. Not only in the delivering speech. If you rush to answer, there are chances to fail. So once you listen to the question or listen to the concept, try to process it for 1 to 3 seconds in your brain. Take that pause. That is called as process pause. And then start your answer. It is called as intentional pause. The pause should not be so longer that the listener or the speaker or the interviewer will understand that you don't know anything. I have seen so many such candidates who never started speaking for 1 or 2 minutes. I've seen those. And that's why I have started this journey, right? That's why we have started this journey. I don't want any of you to be on that seat where you will take longer pause and you will never speak. The second pillar is contrast. The pauses create dynamic contrast in your delivery. We have seen when I was reading continuously, there was no difference, right? There was continued same emphasis on every word, every phrase. If there is no contrast in the emphasis on any word, how you understand who is the hero of that particular sentence? If I start reading again, I will try to read without pause or without any variation in the voice. Okay? Pauses create dynamic contrast in your delivery. Without silent speech becomes a wall of sound. Strategic gaps create rhythm the same way. Still, I'm not able to do it because earlier it was my problem. I worked on it and I have overcome it. I'm unable to do it right now. Still, again, I will try. Pauses create dynamic contrast in your delivery. Without silence, speech becomes a wall of sound. Strategic gaps create rhythm, the same way rest in music create melody. Contrast is what makes your message memorable. You will remember me for you will remember me as a news anchor working in Doordarshan in 1990. Just search on YouTube 1990s Doordarshan news, how they used to tell the news. Today, I don't want to mimic anyone, but today's news you can hear how they emphasize on every word, how they take pause before telling the powerful word of their sentence or the what they call it as a breaking news. The news is the best tool to learn how to emphasize on the sentence, how to emphasize on the words, how to make our speech variations, how to make the how to create the dynamic contrast in our delivery. And third one is the timing. As I said, a longer pause means it can be considered as you don't want to speak. So the pause timings are as small as 2 seconds or 3 seconds. They call 2 seconds pause as importance pause and 3 seconds pause as demanding attention pause. And a half second pause signals a transition. Now, can anybody start the stopwatch and see uh, what is the time duration for my pauses? And then we'll define which pause was meant for what. This is basic. It is not necessary to really start the timer and see for how much time you take that pause. It should be the habit. It should come as a natural flow. Getting my point? And it comes with the practice only. That's why I always say implement the quick win task and complete all home assignments. Let me take you through one of my personal experience. In one of the meetings with my team, at the end of the keynote, I said, we aren't just building software. And then I took pause of 4 seconds, intentional pause, because I was learning how to use the pause during that tenure. And I watched all the team members' faces. And then I said, we are saving lives. Because of that 4 seconds silence, the last sentence, We are saving lives, impacted like a hammer on that particular keynote summary. I could have said, like, we are not just building the software, we are saving lives. There is no impact, there is no emphasis, there is no importance, there is no sharing the feeling, there is not properly communicating the actual feeling I want to build there, the actual seriousness I want to build there within my team. But because of this silence, everyone was waiting for my statement. In those 4 seconds, they processed the first sentence. We aren't just building software. They started processing. I took that feedback from them after the workshop, after that meeting. They started processing. We are not just building the software. What does it mean? Then what are we doing? Then that second statement, we are saving life. That made the impact. The entire team started feeling proud because they were working on that project. They got opportunity to work on such project which saves lives. The same impact could not have been done if not used that pause. What made it work? The pause came before critical data point. What are we actually doing? We are saving lives. But instead of saying it casually, I took pause. I made sure they feel the intensity, they feel the seriousness of that next sentence. Just observe, if you are attending a class or workshop or a meeting, and if you are not paying attention to the speaker or the professor, and suddenly he stops speaking, there is a pin drop silence. You start feeling that you have done some mistake because you were not there mentally. So you didn't know why everything is stopped now, why he stopped speaking. And you start paying attention again. Are you feeling the power of the pause now? Silence replaced what would have been an or. So basically, body language remained still and composed during this 4 seconds pause. The body language shows if the pause is intentional or unintentional, or planned or unplanned. Anyone listening to you can understand if your pause is planned or unplanned by looking at you, by observing your body language. And the pause created anticipation. The audience leaned in. What does it mean? When I said you aren't just building a software, I questioned their task, right? I questioned their task. So they leaned in my next statement. They wanted to hear what I will say next. And everyone focused on me. And that last statement, we are saving lives, made the impact, built the seriousness, built the trust. I hope the scenario is very much clear to you and you will start practicing the pause. Now, let us see what you can do in next 60 seconds. It is a quick win task. Please implement it. Record yourself, open your phone's voice recorders, speak for 60 seconds about your current project or any topic you know well. It is important that if you are talking on something, you should know that topic or that project very well. Because here we are not, what I can say, we are not practicing to speak on the unknown topics. Here we are practicing to speak on the known topics, the known projects without using the fillers and by using the strategic pause. Here you are not supposed to write the script. You just need to speak naturally. Then, once it is done, listen it back. Count every filler you used. Okay? If you use the fillers like right, count them. And it is my experience, most professionals shock when they realize what is the number in just 60 seconds. And acknowledge that, yes, I did the mistake of using the fillers. Replace with silence. Now, re-record the voice note on the same topic, and wherever you have used the fillers, replace them with silence. Share both the voice notes on our WhatsApp community group so everyone will listen to your topic and they will get encouraged to implement their quick assignment. Got it? Okay, let's go. Before we meet in the next session, these three are your home assignments. First one, the filler word audit. Record a 3-minute mock presentation. Choose any topic. Observe and highlight the filler words you used. Then categorize them as nervous filler or it is a transition filler. Okay. The second one is the 2 seconds rule. In coming week, whenever somebody asks you anything in your office or in your college, take a 2 seconds deliberate pause and see how you respond. And third one is watch and analyze. Watch a TED Talk or any podcast. how they use pauses or how they use the fillers during their speech delivery. Observe it and note down your observations. Share it with everyone in the WhatsApp community. What all three key takeaways from today's session? Silence is not weakness, it is command. You have seen the example. Silence makes impact. If you are speaking without any silence, it seems like a train running on a track. No one can understand what you are speaking. Just observe. When train is running on the track, you can't read what is written on the nameplate of that particular train. You can't understand, right? So we must use the silence or pause intentionally when we speak next time. Filler words are a habit, not a personality attribute. When we started this session, I had asked, who taught us to use the fillers? It has become a habit by watching others. We should stop this habit. We should uncheck this habit from our checklist. Pausing is a skill built through repetition. Again, there is a repetition. You will master this one session if you start practicing. If you won't practice, if you won't repeat, you won't be able to master this session. And so, as always, I request everyone to start implementing the quick win task if you have not started. Start completing the home assignments if you have not started, because only practice can help us. If I teach you, if I guide you 1,000 tricks, it won't help unless you practice whatever is taught in these sessions. Finally, thank you so much for listening to me, and I appreciate your journey, because no one can come this long if they are not disciplined and consistent and focused on their career growth. With that saying, keep practicing, keep studying, and keep, speaking. Thank you so much.